Now with 2 episodes in a row, I have to honestly say at this point, I'm kind of scared about Lycoris Recoil when it comes to action scenes. It just really feels like it's just not there anymore, and that's very unfortunate. Now, I still love the show for everything else. Everything else is still fantastic with Lycoris Recoil, but unfortunately, yes, episode 5 and now episode 6 having these very lackluster action scenes, I'm really starting to get concerned about that, because that was a really cool selling point of the series for 4 whole episodes, was these action scenes that weren't just action scenes. There was so much about them that made them so cool. And now they're just kind of what I was saying most action shows are. Just pew, 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 and then these CG cars going in a random direction with velocity lines going on. And that's unfortunate. Hopefully it picks back up in the coming episodes, but either way, that aside, the rest of the episode itself, pretty solid. We got the introduction of this other concept, which is the Lillybell, which, okay, sure. Apparently there's male versions of Lycoris, and they're called Lillybells, which does already make me wonder, is this Mashima guy gonna be a Lillybell? I mean, he seems like he has some major plot armor, so usually Lycoris, at least the main Lycoris, have a lot of plot armor, so I don't know, maybe Mashima is one. I mean, he literally got exploded standing right next to a vehicle that got hit by a rocket and shot like, I don't know, 50 feet, 100 feet, and somehow survived. I don't know, the blast was so much that it projected him a great distance and he still lives. So maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he's a part of the Allen Institute too. Maybe he's a cyborg. I don't know. Well, wait, I'm not going to say that he just totally plot armored through that whole situation. Maybe it's that he just has actual body armor. Who knows? But no, I think at this point, I'm going to give up on my theory that this guy that keeps talking with Robota is not going to be Yoshimasu. I don't know why he is not the one speaking. I don't know why they keep hiding his face, but it does seem like it's implying it's him. It's got his assistant is talking to Robota, and I don't know why they're going out of their way not to show his face unless it's going to at some point be a big reveal that both Yoshi and this guy have the same exact assistant, and they both have the same exact hairdo. You just don't see his face. Oh, but by the way, this is his brother, and his brother has a huge scar on his face, and that's what tells them apart. I don't know. It just seems like they're going way out of their way to hide who he is. No, it is funny because this episode really felt like it was a response to my criticisms of episode 5. I wish they would have upped the action scenes as a response to that, but at least it seemed like this episode was trying to recuperate my feelings about Kurumi, and it still brought Makima down again. Like, my criticism last episode was, why didn't Kurumi and Mika know that this guy was a proxy? It didn't make any sense. I'm glad that a lot of people agree with me that it didn't really make sense why they didn't notice this. It kind of makes them look bad, especially Mika, because he's allowing his subordinates to do something, a job that he didn't thoroughly vet. But at the same time, I was going to kind of let it slide. And in this episode, Mika looks bad again. But at least Kurumi, they're trying to do something with her. Like, oh yeah, now she is going to be stepping up. Now she's going to be... The reason why I think Mika came back down again is because he apparently did not know that Kurumi was the one that hacked the DA. I assumed that when he brought Kurumi in, he knew that. He knew that Walnut had done that. But apparently, again, no, he was not aware. Dude's not aware of anything. But yeah, no, this episode was a lot to do with both Kurumi being revealed that she was the one that hacked the DA, and her really going out of her way to figure out what's going on with these killings. It seems like the DA does not want them to know. They're still keeping it a secret, which was an answer that I was looking for. I was kind of curious as to if at least Mika could get information out of the commander as to what's being covered up in the news currently. All these explosions and stuff, what's going on. And so they have to actually have Kurumi look into it by hacking into the DA system, which she finds out that, oh yeah, it looks like information is getting out about the identity of each one of these Lycoris. And these Lycoris are being hunted down and killed. And even the ones that are being sent to take down Mashima and his team, they're being revealed who they are so that they can take them out. And this is all Mashima's big plan to fix the balance, to cause havoc and cause chaos, because apparently from the exposition dump between him and Robota, it seems like every terrorist that is being sent into this location to carry out plans, everybody that's hired that's brought here disappears. So it's obviously somebody's covering up things. So he's trying to figure out what the DA is and take it down. And for the most part of this episode, he's trying to figure out the location of it, while the hacker's trying to, in working with, again, I think Yoshi, to push Mashima towards Chisato. He doesn't care about Chisato until he sees her in action. Then suddenly, this is the person that's going to be my balance. And that's his obsession right now. So he finally wants to go after her, which that turned into a whole scene. I honestly wasn't really sure exactly, because I know we're still talking about this idea of how dark this show is going to get. And I thought really this was going to be the point that it was going to get dark. I kind of assumed, well, my direction I thought that was going to go was that he was going to take out Chisato, like shoot her or something like that. But then because she has a robotic heart, she still lives through it. But thankfully, Takina made it there in time. Did anybody else notice that Takina went non-lethal? Yes. Her aim wasn't off because she shot the gun out of somebody's hand. But after that, she proceeded to shoot people in the limbs. It like kind of went out of its ways to have people go, oh, my arm, oh, my leg. It was trying to show that she was technically not trying to kill people, which is that, again, progression in her character. Yes, granted, technically, and let me make this very perfectly clear, shooting in limbs and arms is not non-lethal. You can hit arteries and take people out very quickly unless they actually get some sort of clamping down on their limbs. But she's probably trying not to aim for those locations, even though it's very difficult. So putting that that argument out of the way, what they're trying to display here is that she technically is being swayed by Chisato. She's no longer just trying to come in there and kill as many people as possible. She's trying not to kill people, just like Chisato is kind of instilling upon her, which I think was really cool. It was like a very subtle, very quick, if you didn't notice it, sign that she is changing as a character. Unfortunately, that also means that it kind of led to them having to flee because they weren't taking anybody out. If she did take all those people out, they probably could have stayed there and taken down this whole entire ring, which I don't think is an argument they're trying to get into here. On the other side of the whole episode was because there was these Lycoris being taken out, they wanted everybody to kind of stay together, or at least Takina suggested staying with Chisato at night and them taking turns on watch. And so this turned this whole cute thing. All the Yuri fans out there got exactly what they wanted. They were all waiting for this moment that Takina and Chisato would live together. And so yeah, sure enough, Takina goes there. She's got this whole pathway to go down to her actual apartment, and that's where they kind of hang out, divvy out all their chores, which Takina, girl, sweetheart, you know that Chisato has like some crazy ability to dodge bullets. So obviously she's going to be able to read rock, paper, scissors. So yeah, she does it, and let's rock, paper, scissors. And Chisato's like, oh yeah, that's true, that's great. So she goes along with it, and yeah, sure enough, Takina is doing everything. Which turns this whole thing about her getting rid of the rock first thing, which turns into a cute scene at the very end, which I absolutely adored that. If you want me to stay at your place again, you have to beat me at rock, paper, scissors. Chisato was like, oh right, let's do it. And then they play it, and then Takina pushes them forward in the place to skip that part, and then she wins, and she just stands up and does this goofy little squeal. I was like, that's always when Takina's at her best. Like, Takina is always the quiet to herself, very stoic, very into duty, and then have these little moments where she suddenly just breaks and does something goofy. It's always classic. That's like the whole fish thing. It was so classic because it was so out of nowhere. It was so out of character. Her coming out of her comfort zone. They're doing a really good job of still continuing to progress Takina as a character and slowly, again, get her more comfortable. So every time you see her more comfortable, it makes it so much more rewarding. But yeah, eventually they do have somebody try to come in to attack Chisato's place, and of course they're underground. They come out, kick the crap out of the guys, and that's when Chisato says, yeah, this happens every now and then. Somebody comes attack. That's why I have everything set up the way it is. That's why I have the different safe houses. And then she mentions, yes, these guys were easy though. These guys were simple. It's the Lillybells that you have to worry about. And then, of course, Takina's like, well, what's a Lillybell? Oh, apparently they're the male version of a Lycoris. And when Takina asks, what did they do? She says, I don't know. Just know that she's been attacked by them. So yeah, what is a Lillybell? Now, I'm assuming that because since Lycoris kind of handles what they handle, and it doesn't seem like there's ever a male presence, I do believe that I think the Lillybells are going to be something that is similar to Lycoris, but yes, obviously the male version of it. But I think their jobs are going to be different. I think what you're going to have with the Lycoris is obviously they're stopping crime before it happens. Anything that threatens the public itself, they're the eraser. They go out and they take out somebody, and then the DA covers it up. What I think the Lillybells are going to be, I have two opinions. One is going to be, I think the Lillybells might be the government's answer to Lycoris stepping out of line. So if a Lycoris is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they send Lillybells. I don't know if the DA is going to be aware of that or not, but because of Chisato being possibly attacked by one before, it leads me to believe that maybe back with the whole tower incident, she did something above and beyond what she was supposed to do, and they were going to have a Lillybell take her out. Or that was a situation where a Lillybell was supposed to kill her. They failed, and that's why Mika and Chisato left. My other opinion that I think a Lillybell is going to be is probably somebody that is for assassinating certain targets that are against the system. So the DA and everybody are this big project to keep threats down. There might be groups that are possibly trying to uncover that, and the Lillybells are sent to get rid of them. Anybody that threatens to reveal the secrets of the DA, they send Lillybells. But we'll see. Again, there's a part of me that kind of thinks that maybe possibly they might eventually run into a Lillybell, but I'm thinking right now that might possibly be that Mashima is, or Mika used to be one. Visually, besides the combat sequences, more great shots of the characters, more fantastic outfits. I absolutely love Chisato with the pigtails and the cute little, shoulder outfit. Looked absolutely cute in that blouse. It was adorable. I was kind of hoping that we'd see more of Takuna in more casual outfits since she was staying at her place, but she was just mostly in her uniform. But it raises a question, because now that they're kind of pointing out that what's making them a target is that now this organization that Mashima's running understands who the Lycoris is based on they're assuming it's based on the fact they know their uniforms now. So them having a uniform does put them in threat. So I'm curious if we'll start seeing maybe Lycoris, Lycorico, obviously maybe them would possibly be wearing different outfits, but I'm wondering if that information will go back to the DA, if they're going to have to change their uniform for the other girls as well. But with that said, props to Kurumi, finally getting to see her do some stuff. Her finally hacking, getting information that they need, which is great. She's starting to uncover things. She's starting to do what she should be doing. I like that technically at some point, Mizuki was criticizing Kurumi because she wanted some watermelon. She's like, all you do here is just sit around and play video games. And I'm like, again, I think they heard me last week. She doesn't do anything. And now suddenly she's doing things, which is great. But again, I'm still curious as to why they won't reveal what Yoshi is and why they keep showing the back of his head. Again, I think that's because they're trying to make us think that it's him, but it's actually somebody that looks like him. But we'll see. But that's my thoughts on episode 6 of Lycoris Recoil. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what's thought of the episode. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already so you can get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. Definitely appreciate everybody that does. And y'all take care.